So basically, yeah, I mean, when we started off, we we hadn't really sowed a seed on a commercial level like that before, so we were...
I know, it was so funny because like Sab had told us on 2 different occasions, he was like 2 seeds per hole.
Yeah.
Cool. We're like, then we asked him like the day later or whatever, like, oh shit, like what spacing did you say again? And he was like 20 centimeters. So we were like, sharp. So there we were putting 2 seeds per hole every 20 centimeters. And then he goes and he's like, what have you done? He's like, you need to thin this. And now when we're like, but you told us. And he's like, no, it's either or.
Yeah.
So we wasted like half our maize seed.
Half our maize seed.
So we're in your vegetable patch for market garden, right?
Yeah.
And you have quite a variety of things growing. Do you want to kind of walk us through how you've developed it and kind of how you are taking it forward, really?
Sure. So we had actually started with sort of, what was it, like 4 initial main beds, and we thought we were going to do no dig beds. So what I had done was I just laid cardboard down straight on the ground, and then we just put a whole bunch of our compost on, and we're like, cool, good to go, because we had watched this, you know, on YouTube videos and things like that, and we thought, okay, that's what we're going to do.
We've got this down.
We've got it down. And then like 3 months later, we couldn't even see the veggies we had planted. It was just weeds everywhere.
Yeah.
And then also because we're in a flood prone area, the entire place flooded. So we realized then, okay, we need to ridge our beds. There's absolutely no way. So we came in with a, what do you call it? A rotavator on a two-wheel tractor, and we rotivated this entire area to loosen up the soil so that we were then able to shape it, because if you threw a spade or a pick in the soil before, it was like concrete, so hard,
very compacted,
exactly, hardly any drainage happening, low organic matter, and yeah, we did some soil tests, and our acidity was 4.3, which is extremely acidic.
That is crazy acidic, actually.
Yeah. So I feel like in general, whatever we've been doing, it's been like taking a leap of faith and then learning to fly as you're falling. Like that's literally what it's been. So yeah, we have a huge part of what we do is making sure that there's a large diversity in the garden, because what happens, you know, when you monocultures are man-made. It's not a natural thing, and you know, from a perspective of pests and disease, I don't really like referring to them as pests because they're just insects doing their job.
Indicators.
Yeah, exactly, biological indicators. So, you know, if they see a large monoculture, they know that's unnatural, and then they, you know, it goes into the whole attack and defense mode. So we really just try and diversify here and have a lot going at the moment. The garden doesn't look as great because we've had a lot going out, and we're really planting small little seedlings at the moment. But yeah, within this garden at the moment, I would say we have maybe 20 different things growing in the 70 beds, the 73 beds that we currently have going. And yeah, we plan on expanding this area to where the pigs have been, and yeah, just developing that into more and more of a market garden.
And do you have a rotation that you follow? Like some things follow something follows that, and go on? Yeah,
so it's quite difficult if you're doing it on a, you know, a market garden scale. And we've been going through the fact of like sometimes diversity, you know, outweighs crop rotation and things like that, but at the same time there's, you know, certain obvious ones that you wouldn't necessarily plant after each other. But like for instance, like cucurbits, which is August now, and it's a good time to plant all those. They grow excellent after potatoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like that's what we're sort of following. And you know, all of this area here was potatoes and some peas, so we're currently harvesting all of those, and we're gonna put in all of our cucurbits for this month, some cucumbers, some butternut, some pumpkin. So it's quite hard to plan as far as a crop rotation goes,
Well, it is one of those things that does require to sit down and kind of plan
Exactly.
the next step before you're even ready to take it.
And a huge part of enabling that is knowing what you are growing. Because here we've been figuring out, okay, this is grown well, this not so much. So we were still sort of at that phase of trying to figure out what actually works and what's worth our time. And also in terms of market demand.
Yes.
Something might grow fantastically here, but nobody wants it.
Yeah.
So
then what do you do with
exactly.
it if that's the case?
Well, we feed it to the pigs.
Well, pigs are the chickens. If they want it, it's a great feed for them.
So it's just been a process of learning. One of the foundations is the biodiversity. So not planting, too many of the same vegetable families together. Another thing is that heavy mulching. So we have a lot of sun hemp stalk that we were growing that we've brought over here. We do use leaves as well, but with the August winds, everything's just
it's gonna blow away.
So this works quite well because it's all sort of connected, tangled together. And so heavy mulching to protect the soil from the heat and also retain moisture, and also it breaks down slowly to create nutrients.
Do you grow a green manure crop at all over the course? Like just sometimes the row gets rested and you grow a green manure crop? Or?
So we were actually just contemplating that now. I was saying to him that, come the rainy season, depending on how flooded this area gets, if I'm going to do the veg or if I'm just going to do it in blocks and portion out, sort of green manure for these 10 beds and then sort of cycle it like that. But what was actually really funny was we have chaff from the sun hemp. So basically what was around the seed over here, and we didn't realize that there was still so much sun hemp seed in it.
Oh, you're getting
so basically everywhere we go there's baby sun hemps popping up too, which is not a bad thing.
Not there could be worse things.
So
effectively.
And we're not too hectic. I mean, of course there's some weeding maintenance, but we're not too hectic on every day it should be super clean and there should be weeds, because weeds are also host plants as well as biological indicators. So it was quite interesting. You'd get a lot of milk thistle popping up here, horsetail weed, all different things, and they were all telling us about different contaminants and things that we have in our soil. So it's more just about listening to what the ground has to tell you. And
as you say, kind of taking note as to what does better this time of year versus that time of year in certain areas, and trying to figure that out with demand. Isn't it? Like it's very much kind of that idea of constant adaptation.
Exactly.
And this is what makes market gardening so difficult. And I think a lot of people just kind of think, I'll put it in the ground and then I'll sell it and make money. There's a lot more that goes into it all.
And we were so excited. We thought, we're gonna do lettuce large scale. It's so quick, quick cash turnover. We grew lettuce immediately, bolted. So again, the variety, the heat. We do want to put some shade cloth up on part of the garden, so at least there's some level of protection. Eventually, we would like a bit of a polytunnel and a greenhouse as well to grow tomatoes in the rainy season and things like that. But slowly.
Yeah, because then it's a matter of kind of taking advantage of certain times of year when certain crops might increase in price because they become less available.
Exactly.
Tomatoes in the rainy season is one of the big ones.
Exactly. And if you've tasted a tomato in the rainy season, you will know that it tastes like chlorine and all the chemicals. So it's really difficult. What we tend to do is now when there is a huge surplus of organic tomatoes, from us, from Sebastian and a bunch of other organic suppliers, we just process them, freeze them, and then use them in the rainy season. But it would be so great to grow them fresh during the rain.
No, definitely. I think another actually big part of producing your own produce is then learning how to process it yourself, so that you can kind of meet your own demand in those times where you have very little effectively. And if you can do that to provide yourself for the full year, it's really good. If you can then produce extra where you can then
preserve
market that and sell it on, even better.
It's a
That
plus,
helps you in the long run,
Yeah.
effectively.
And yeah, as far as sort of nutrient addition goes, as you know, we don't use any pesticides or synthetic fertilizers. So we make all of our own compost, which comes from, the chickens. As we said, we get cow manure, things like that. And yeah, we make our own compost, and that's basically all we use. I do use a few different like natural sprays that we make. So one is comfrey tea. Okay. We have a few comfrey plants growing over there, so we brew their tea, which is a very high, nutrient available nutrient when you apply it foliarly, along with, again, effective microorganisms. I spray that on a weekly basis. Yeah, we're just experimenting with a few things. There's jadam that you can use with rotten potatoes, things like that. There's
really?
Yeah, a few things.
Well, hey, yeah, a rotten potato is not really good use to anybody, so if you can make it useful,
exactly.
all the better.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that orange kind of sunflowery like plant that
Tithonia?
comes up? Tithonia.
No, I haven't actually seen that, which is quite interesting.
Okay, well it's good.
It's good,
Rather not have it than have it.
Yes.
But if you did, it can also be used like comfrey as a nutrient accumulator and stuff like that. I suppose a lot of this is work with what you have.
Yeah,
ultimately.
exactly.
So.
Yeah.
So you have the intention of expanding.
Yeah.
And that obviously shows that demand is there for the produce and stuff.
Definitely. I think there's a growing community as well as a huge existing one who appreciate, good quality produce, and just knowing the farmer and knowing where it comes from, and, the fact that, it's grown with a lot of love and care and intention. Just the amount of nutritional value within the crops. We were debating whether, if you're going to eat a cabbage that's been sprayed 11 times, is it worth eating the cabbage even though it's a vegetable?
Yeah.
There was a bit of a debate about that. So yeah, a lot of people, and it's really sad that, sometimes this comes about because people are either battling an illness or something's come about that they're like, okay, now I need to switch to organic, but everybody should have that right. To have good nutritious food that doesn't make them ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the availability as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
For most of human existence, we've always done organic. It's only in the last 100
in the
plus
Green
years
Revolution,
where that has changed, and we've kind of gone full force in some cases into these pesticides and things.